have no attorney. Doesn't matter.
Sorry.
Yeah, we don't have.
We can start without her? To who?
Okay, I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:07 p.m. Roll call, please.
Recording in progress.
Councilmember Bowles.
Here.
Councilmember Big Stick.
Present.
Councilmember Beer.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Beckmeyer.
Present.
Mayor Vaterlas.
Here. And I will read the land acknowledgement. The City of Pacifica acknowledges that we occupy the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone people, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We honor the Ramaytush Ohlone people for their enduring commitment to Mother Earth. As the indigenous protectors of this land, and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as caretakers of this place, as well as for all people who reside in their traditional territory. We affirm their sovereign rights as First People and wish to pay our respects to their ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush Ohlone people. And I'm going to lead the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Consent agenda. Is there anyone on council who'd like to pull anything from the consent agenda or ask a question?
Mayor Vaterlas?
Yes.
Kevin Woodhouse, City Manager. I just want to make a brief note about a correction to the consent calendar. Item number 5, Pacifica Spindrift Players Third Amendment to Lease Agreement. There's been a minor revision to the contract amendment. The current version includes exhibits A, B, and C at the end of the contract. However, only exhibit B should remain part of the amendment. Exhibits A and C will be removed. Exhibit B pertains to the temporary use area established during COVID and the Second Amendment to the contract, and this Third Amendment formally terminates that temporary use.
Okay. You know what, I'll ask the public. Does anyone in the public have anything they'd like to talk about on the consent agenda? Seeing none, Emily?
There are no raised hands.
Okay, I'll bring it back to council. Christine?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I have a few corrections to the minutes 2A from the 9/23/24 meeting,
9/23/24.
the quarry reclamation hearing.
Okay.
So bear with me. On packet page 36, kind of in the middle, where it starts Mr. Guernsey, and I think it should say, Mr. Guernsey stated that they have approved reclamation plans in the coastal zone, not that they have improved reclamation plans in the coastal zone.
Okay.
And then on page 38, the fourth paragraph down that starts Councilmember Beer, thought she read in the EIR. I'll read a little bit because I think I said this.
It's not
I don't think
me.
it was me. I
That's
think it was
not
me.
me.
Okay. Okay, that was me, not Councilmember Beer.
That sentence was not me. Councilmember Bowles.
Yes.
Got it.
Let's see. Page 46. There are two minor things. Again, kind of in the middle, it says Councilmember Big Stick added traffic plan under the circulation period, and that should say circulation element. I think that's important because it's part of the general plan. And the sentence after that quotes our municipal code, and it says 902-5, and it should be 9-205.
Councilmember Bowles, could you please repeat that?
Sure.
Both of those?
Yeah. So Councilmember Big Stick added traffic plan under the circulation period, and I think it should say circulation element period.
Got it.
And then the next paragraph where it says 902-5, it should be 9-205.
205, 9-205. Got it. Thank you.
And then, sorry, on page 47, just last one. So this is after the statement from Mr. Stenson in the middle of that page about the traffic analysis. Actually, there's two places where it says BMT, that should be VMT instead. And then one thing I mentioned that didn't get put in the minutes that I think is important, and I went back and listened to the recording just on this one, and so I wanted to add, so this is about the traffic analysis being accurate, and so what I said was, I'm not sure I agree with that, but I don't think that we're getting into the EIR tonight. So I just wanted to clarify that I had an objection to the traffic analysis.
And where are you correcting that?
So it's,
She's adding.
it's right after the paragraph about Mr. Stenson, and then the next sentence says Councilor Bowles would like to hear about that 2013 letter, so it should be just before that Councilmember Bowles sentence.
I'm sorry. What should be?
Oh, the sentence that I read. I'm not sure I agree with that, but I don't think we're getting into the EIR tonight. And then this is minor, but on the last page on 49, it says what the vote was, and it says deny the appeal, but there were two appeals, so I'm pretty sure that should be plural.
Anyone else?
Friendly amendment. Since our minutes are not action minutes, they're summary minutes, and they're third person, would it be possible if we could say Councilmember Bowles stated she did not agree with this? In other words, what Councilmember Bowles just added is a first person direct quote type of amendment, and we don't do our minutes that way. So in keeping with the
Yeah.
rest of the tone.
And that's fine. It doesn't have to
And I'm sure City
be.
Clerk Coffey will take that and find the right way to say it.
It doesn't need to be verbatim, but I did
Right.
want to get in the record that there was something I objected to in the EIR.
Totally get it.
Okay. And the minutes are on YouTube, so anyone can watch the meetings
yeah.
after the fact. Not the minutes, the meetings. Okay. Anybody else? Would someone like to make a motion?
I move approval of the, wait, do we have heard from the public?
We did,
We did already.
I move approval of the consent agenda
with the,
with amendments as stated. Did you want them
That's fine.
reviewed?
No.
Okay.
that's fine.
Oh, okay, I'll second.
please vote.
And the consent calendar as moved by Mayor Pro Tem Beckmeyer, with item number 2 as amended by Councilmember Bowles, seconded by Councilmember Beer, passes unanimously.
Thank you. And public comments for items not on the agenda. We have one card. Suzanne Moore?
I wasn't expecting to be the only one. Happy holidays, everyone. 2025 brings many challenges. We will need help to face issues like homelessness, climate change, the threats and harassment of vulnerable populations. I have hopes that our city will seek out and actively listen to Pacificans, address misinformation and fear-mongering, present best practices and solution-based options, hire staff necessary to do Pacifica's work, and bring in grants and monies that enable Pacifica's goals. Thank you, council members and staff, for your service, May Pacifica's new year be fruitful. Again, happy holidays.
Thank you. Anita Reese?
Sorry, I know this isn't, but I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to just share a little bit about the Pacifica Resource Center and what's going on with us right now. As in past comments, we are still open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 to 5. Wednesday, 9 to 7. We're closed 12:30 to 1:30 for lunch. We're open Friday, 9 to 1. And we are open one Saturday a month, which is this coming Saturday, the 14th, from 9 to 1. Wanted to share that for Thanksgiving, we served 253 Pacifica families this year. Our goal was 200, but because of the community support that we received again this year, we were able to help everyone who needed it with groceries and gift cards to either Safeway, Grocery Outlet, or Oceana Market. For Holiday Joy, we are matching sponsors with families right now, families who need help for the holidays. And we currently are at capacity with 150 children from 75 families. And we need sponsors for at least 18 more kids. Actually 20, I just learned there's 2 more kids that we're adding into the program. So if you wanna shop, we'll match you right now, like tomorrow, not right now because I don't have them with me. Otherwise, we are asking for gift cards for $125 per child for Target or Visa. That way the families can go and shop before the holidays, as well as $75 for Safeway or Grocery Outlet. We'll cover the family gift, which is generally a $50 gift of some sort. So really, whatever you all want to do, whoever's available to help, we will take it and we will make it work. And hopefully, similar to Thanksgiving, we will have enough folks who will support beyond that, and we won't have to turn any children away this year. Either way, we'll figure out a way to help them. Our next client choice is coming up on Wednesday, December 18th. That is a grocery distribution at the American Legion Hall. It is by appointment, but if somebody is not signed up and needs groceries, we just ask them to arrive after 4. And then our Unhoused on the Coast outreach is operating 7 days a week. If you see someone who's living outside or in a vehicle, email ucoutreach@pacresourcecenter.org or call or text OILAU at 650-387-4458 or Mike at 650-575-4861. And always, you can call the main office, 650-738-7470. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there anyone on the phone?
There are no raised hands.
Okay, so I will bring it back for council communications. I'm not going to say anything.
I will.
Time. Okay, go ahead.
I think it's a short enough meeting. Tree lighting and Civic Center were lovely to attend. Thank you to our elf and Santa. We did have a tsunami between then and now, or excuse me, a tsunami warning, and there was a lot of consternation after the fact in terms of really which organizations were talking to who and how were things coordinated. People expected to hear sirens go off. They didn't. That was a choice, I believe, on the county level, while everyone was receiving text messages saying, if you're on the coast, get off the coast, which was a decision from the state. I believe the schools were triggered by their protocols that they respond to the state, whereas most of us would have responded to the county if we had heard the sirens, and then there were concerns as to, okay, so what are the school's plans? So all of that is to say that there is going to be a thorough after-the-fact review of that. Our county supervisor has been coordinating with city staff to reserve a space in the city. I believe on Friday there's going to be a meeting held by Supervisor Ray Mueller's office to go over what happened, and so that he can hear directly from the public what their experience was, and he can bring that back and coordinate a better response should we have such an eventuality in the future. So thank you, Supervisor Mueller and your office for arranging that, and the particulars to come for when he'll hold those, I believe, Friday office hours. thank you to the PCT Telethon. I really enjoyed doing that with my colleagues,
That was so much fun.
answering those phones. And thank you to PCT. I hope you made some money off of that. PCT, frankly, I haven't spent enough time thanking you for making sure that our democracy is constantly broadcast. Every second of our meetings is available easily because of PCT, never mind the programming that they put out that anyone can participate in if they have an idea. So thank you for the work you're doing. You're training generations of media specialists. Yeah. And then last but not least, there's a epilogue to at least my council story and Sue Vaterlaus's. We're going to be the representatives for CCAG for one more hurrah on, I think, this coming Thursday. And they wrote into their bylaws at the last meeting that we'll be able to be the representative since it's inconvenient to try and figure out somebody new to put on the board between now and when most cities will have figured that out for the January meeting. So we'll be doing CCAG one more time. And then I'll be attending the California League of Cities Clerks Group to participate in a session about how to deal when neo-Nazis call in. Our Assistant City Attorney, Denise Bazzano, who was present at our happening, will be there to give her experience as well as legal information, as well as Walnut Creek Council member Kevin Wilk and the city manager of Ventura, Bill Ayub. It is my belief that Kevin and I will play well off each other's approaches. Frankly, there were moments I wish Kevin had been here. He takes much better care of making sure that the community is well represented in terms of immediately saying to a neo-Nazi, no, this is not our community, whereas my approach was one more of, you're not going to get a response out of me because I know that's what you're looking for. So between the two of us, hopefully good information will go out. And that is the entirety of my report.
You're the perfect person to sit on that panel because you handled it so well.
I think so too.
Yeah, so that's great. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, it's always fun being the elf, so I had fun again at the Rockaway tree lighting, and then we were able to be in the parade in Half Moon Bay, so it was really fun. The elf suit is put away now for the season, maybe next year. I do want to thank the Pacifica Resource Center. I know everybody's working really hard there right now, probably double duty right now, so thank you for taking care of our families. I don't have a lot to report out, and I know tonight is about celebration, and so I'm going to hand it off to my colleagues now.
Okay.
I'll go. I had such a fun weekend. It was busy, and I didn't sleep a lot, but it started with having an opportunity to sit down with our District 1 representative on the City Council, Myra Espinoza, and then it bled right into the opportunity to have her join me at the HIP Housing Calendar Reveal, I call it. I'm sure it has a better name than that, which was a lovely event. And we have a student of Ocean Shore School who has the November month. And we will be having her and her family, hopefully in January, to the council meeting. And it just kind of went on from there. I made the fastest run around Polar Palooza that you could ever make by the time I got home, but it was super fun. And of course, the next day was exciting, and we had so many events happening in town. We had the Historical Society event on Sunday, which was fun. We had, thank you for coordinating with PCT to get us all there. We had to adjust our schedules a little, but it worked out great. and had so much fun at the auction. And the days just blurred together into a celebration of our community, and it was so much fun, and I loved it.
I can go, and I won't repeat all the social events, but it was really a fun weekend, packed, but, and so many different wonderful community groups, and getting to hear the kids sing and so forth, always enjoyable. I just had one meeting I wanted to report on, which was the airport roundtable, and thanks to Degree for being there, and another member of our public with me too. So we're still discussing the impacts of the new quadcopter-looking things that are the electric vertical takeoff and landing vehicles. And so one bit of news is that the FAA has said that there won't be no new noise policies for those. It's going to go under the umbrella of the regular planes, which is a little concerning because they're going to fly much lower. And what I'm learning is we're not going to have much control over where they fly. But cities have control over where they can take off and land. And just reiterating that the county should be, all the cities in the county should be working together, because we're all going to need these new ordinances and our codes, pretty quickly. And South San Francisco is also already working with one company to install landing and takeoff locations because they're so close to the airport. So anyway, it's coming, and it's coming quickly. And then I just wanted to announce, just so everyone can save the date, on January 15th, there's a great group of people in town, including our former planning commissioner, George Domerat, Bob Battaglio, Tom Kendall, and other Army Corps people who have been working on a concept for an offshore reef here in Sharp Park beyond the pier. This is to help with the impacts of the greater waves and so forth, and storms, and trying to keep the sand in place on the beaches, which are help our resilience. In addition to the work we're doing on the seawall. Anyway, they're giving a presentation on January 15th in the evening at the Pedro Point Firehouse. So more details are coming later, but save that date. It should be really interesting to hear about. And then I just wanted to ask City Manager Woodhouse if he'd give us an update on the housing element, because I know the environmental impact report for that was supposed to be issued last month and might be happening over the holidays, just to give everyone a heads up. Thank you.
Okay, I had fun too. The Rockaway tree lighting, although it seems very seamless when you're there, takes months and months and months of work. So we are planning to continue it next year, even though the chamber is not going to be active in a location. I also went to the labor lunch, but I did all those other things too. So we did have we're always busy, but we had a busy, fun weekend.
Yeah.
So that's it. I said I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, I'm going to ask if you would let me say one more thing.
Yes.
I was not available to go to Small Business Saturday, but I was so proud to see my community all over Bay Area media.
Yeah.
Amazing. And so I hightailed it down this weekend as much as I could between things, and discovered the most fabulous map that has been put together by the Seaside Business Merchants Association. You can pick it up in the stores down on Palmetto. Fantastic work, amazing, exactly what we need, and thank you for that, because it just helps direct people. It just helps people know better what we have. We know what we have, but to make sure the word is getting out. So, thank you.
Okay, staff communications. Can't see.
Thank you, Mayor Vaterlos, Mayor Pro Tem Beckmeyer, Kevin Woodhouse. City Manager, I wasn't going to provide any updates, given the nature of tonight's meeting, but in response to Councilmember Bowles' question regarding housing element, don't have much to report other than we did receive an additional comment letter last week from HCD, so we're actively reviewing that, and we are very close to the release of the draft EIR.
Okay, great. So now we're going to move on And we have the presentation to the outgoing council members, and I am going to read the proclamation for Tiger. I'm going to put on my glasses. It's in italics. This is a proclamation of the City of Pacifica in recognition of Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick. Whereas the tenure of the Honorable Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick with the City Council of the City of Pacifica is drawing to a close after 4 years of service in the role of council member following a successful election in 2020, wherein he served as mayor in 2023. And whereas Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick has dedicated his life to enhancing Pacifica in numerous capacities, serving 5 years on the board of directors of the Pacifica Resource Center and as vice president in the last 2 years, in addition to serving on the Planning Commission prior to his election to City Council. And whereas Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick has led by example in his work across Emergency Preparedness and Safety Commission, the Open Space and Parkland Advisory Committee, the San Mateo County Libraries Joint Powers Authority, the Board of Directors for Peninsula Clean Energy, the Local Agency Formation Commission, the City and County Association of Governments, as well as the Executive Board for the Peninsula Division of the League of California Cities. And whereas Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick has protected Pacifica's coasting community with his leadership on critical city projects such as the General Plan Update, the Sharp Park Specific Plan, the passing of Measure Y Sales Tax Initiative, the renovation of the Civic Center facilities, the adoption of an updated tree ordinance, and the local coastal land use plan. And whereas Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick has promoted community building and collaboration in Pacifica, showcased by his countless face-to-face interactions with the public in his time as council member and mayor, and his long-standing presence at Lindemar Safeway, where he served residents and visitors for 18 years. And whereas Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick has illustrated innovation and eloquence, not only as the author of 2 novels of spiritual fiction, but also an advocate for all residents of the City of Pacifica. Now, therefore, I, Sue Vaterlos, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Pacifica and all its citizens, do hereby honor and pay tribute to Tiger Jazz Twirl's Big Stick and thank him for his many years of public service and wish him happiness and success in his future endeavors. Done this 9th day of December, 2024. Now, council member comments. I'm going to miss you when we're gone. But I'm going to still see you.
Do it
I've
better.
appreciated you all of these 4 years, and every time you called me and asked me if I was okay, I thank you. And I am going to miss this. And you. Next.
I'll go. I'm crying already, of course. Okay. Tiger, God, what an honor it has been to serve with you and to witness you do what you do best, and that is really listen. You listen with the intent to hear, and that is such a beautiful skill. And the way you have networked and brought folks in, all of a sudden you're up in Sacramento meeting with the senators and then giving tours of our coastside. Like, you are so good at connecting people and connecting people to the issues here. And and therefore connecting resources. And I thank you for making some of the difficult conversations that we have had to have so fruitful. Like, like all of our discussions with North Coast County Water. It was difficult. But you were able to figure out a way to create this beautiful relationship with them, and we can thank Jack for that, right? But boy, he did a really great job just this whole time, and you always make sure that people's questions are answered. I feel like you just gracefully move through everything. And I feel like we have this, this like sibling relationship where, I kind of want to bump you with my elbow every once in a while. And I really appreciate that. And I love you, Tiger. And I'm so happy that you are choosing yourself, because doing this job is really hard. And you have an opportunity to live and to love and to create a family. And there's nothing more important than that, whether I like it or not, right? Because I hate to see you go, because you're so good at this. And I can talk about that all day long, about how good you are at this job. So thank you for showing me what it means to be a kind, determined council member. I really am happy that you're going to take care of yourself and that you're going to have a family. And they're here. Thank you for loving Tiger. It's really wonderful. Yeah, I love you, brother.
Sure, I can go. I'll save you. It was only 2 years ago that I was new, and what you really taught me was the importance of relationship building, and Mary has hinted to that, or not hinted. You've clearly said that, regionally, and that's very true. And I have a funny story from Katrina Rill I'll share in a minute. But first, more personally, you reached out to me. You came to my house, soon after I got elected, and we there was some tension there at the beginning, and just the ability to have those conversations, to get to know each other on a human level, to know what our goals are, what our intentions are, what gifts we each bring to this council. We're all very different, and the new council members are bringing new gifts too. But it's together that we come together, and being able to respect each other even when we disagree. Having the debate, I was just talking to Greg before this, having the debate and the deliberations are part of our job, right? Sorting through what's really best for Pacifica. And sometimes that's hard, and sometimes that can be a little personal, right? When we disagree on things. But that's so important. That is part of the work. And the ability to, maintain a positive relationship and to respect each other beyond any disagreement about any policy is so important to being able to continue this work and being able to really improve our town. And you've really shown me that. You did a great job as mayor, like making sure my first year when I was not sure of myself, that you kept looking over at me, you need to say something, and I really appreciate that. And I hope to be that example for the new council members coming in too. So I had dinner with Katrina Rill at the Pacific Beach Coalition holiday party on Saturday. And she told me that when you got elected, you kept bugging her about meeting with her. And she didn't know how to respond. She's like, he doesn't want to meet with me. He wants to meet with Jackie, or later Anna, right? That she's a staff member for our state elected officials. But you were persistent, and I think you were at an event together, and so you asked her, what are you doing after this? And she's like, oh, nothing. And she's like, okay, good, let's go for a walk now. So you pinned her down. And she was a little uncomfortable for a little while, but she really appreciated you taking the time to get to know her too, and getting a sense really of who you were. And It's just so important for the work that we're doing for the city that's beyond the work that we do here on the dais, but, trying to build those relationships and bring money. I also appreciate, in this last year especially, I've just been noticing how when we start deliberations, you're like ready to go. And some of us are like you've really thought about what you want to say, and you start our conversations, right? Where some of us kind of sit back, we're a little hesitant, what do we all think? And I appreciate that because it's important to doing the work and getting it rolling, right? So I wanted to thank you for that. And then you're always a voice of those who are marginalized and hurting and listen, and that is so important in this role too. So anyway, thank you. We will miss you. But I know you're still going to be watching and you're still going to be participating because the care that you have for the city is not going away. Congratulations to your family and to you.
Not to put my back to you.
You
but,
can.
I would like to thank you, Tiger, for being my brother. I don't have a brother. And I do now. And, family is an interesting thing because sometimes we don't always get along. Sometimes we have to get after each other. Sometimes we play and laugh and have inside stories and jokes. I have that relationship with you. That has grown. It wasn't always there. And I remember when I want to thank you for your 4 years of service, that you got an amazing amount of work done. That proclamation really summarizes, but doesn't capture everything that you've done. It's kind of mind-blowing what you've accomplished in 4 years' time. But you were here for years before that. Years and years of studying and learning how does a council work. So you were ready to serve. You were ready to sit down in the chair because you've been watching, and you knew from watching different people what worked, what you would have wanted to emulate. And I was so impressed with that because I didn't really think that's what you were doing. I just thought you were, weird like me and would come to council meetings a lot. But I look back and think on the years, then there would be no one here, and you would be here. In the back, I would usually sit towards the back. I would see your head right in the front. And so you brought all of that knowledge with you when you came in. And even before you came in, you had that knowledge. You had that awareness. And I was serving on council already. And there were many evenings where I would be intercepted at the door as we were all leaving. I don't know if you would call it that. I felt that way. And I was given feedback and given, have you given consideration to, do you think you might want to? And some of the time the answer to that was no. I'm not given consideration to that at all. Holy, you know what? I'm walking to my car going, I guess I should have thought of that. And then it would evolve to, we'd stand out there and freeze and talk. But it was the foundation, it was the building of the foundation of our working relationship. And it was weird at first because I didn't think of you as a brother at that time. But that's how you approached me at that time. And so for me, it's just been this unfolding and this flowering of this relationship because I'm there too now. I get it. And I agree about the notion that it's not always easy when those hard conversations need to happen. There's times when all I just hear the tone in your voice, and I know, oh, right? And it's like, oh, okay. But we persevere. And working with you on coastal issues has been a dream. It's been so great to have your partnership. I'm going to miss you so much. And as we have all said, but we know you're not going anywhere, but yet you are. So, you know, you're not going to be right here, right here, right here. To turn off my phone when it like freaking screams in the middle of the meeting, you know, whatever. I'm going to miss you so much. But, you know, please.
And
Somebody's turn.
sorry. I know I didn't say anything when I first spoke.
Oh, I said, now it's your turn. And then I said, no, it's really somebody's turn.
I know, but I didn't say anything. Tiger and I were actually talking about our relationship the other day and how much we cared about each other and how the teasing and the sometimes more than teasing is because we do care about each other. And I watched you sitting out there for many, many years, sitting in the audience, going to strategic planning and being there from the minute we started till the minute we ended, and you were the only one in the room so many times. And I've always appreciated you. I 100% wanted you on planning because I knew that that was your start to come here. And it was really important. So I could say lots, and I'm going to stop because I'll tell you in person. Okay? Thanks. Thank you for everything. Okay. Dignitaries. Ray Mueller, I know you have to go, so you're going to be first. San Mateo County Supervisor Ray Mueller.
Thank you. Thank you, Sue. This is a hard night, and I do have to go. I apologize. I wish I could be in two places at once, so I'm going to talk to you both before I leave. First, to you, Tiger. So tonight, actually, we say goodbye to two COVID council members. Yeah. We didn't really, it's funny, it's kind of like we block all that out behind us when we talk and we look at the resolutions. But you, Tiger, came into office in the middle of COVID at a time when really here within the state and the county, people, boy, you didn't even see the end of where that was going when you came into office. And you signed up in the middle of that to stand up for this community and help them through that. And that a lot of people during that time period were just trying to figure out how they were going to make ends meet for their families. And you raised your hand and said, I want to come in and serve now. And that speaks to the character of who you are. As a county supervisor, I get to work with a lot of different city council members throughout the county. And I get to see how they interact in their cities. And then I get to see how they interact on regional committees. And some of them do really good in the city work, and they're just kind of there for the regional work. And some do really good in the regional work and don't seem that interested in the city work. And you did amazing in both. I mean, I saw, what I saw you do in the regional committees, you always did your homework. Always walked in and elevated the conversation that was taking place regionally, asked good questions. It made sure that the decisions that were being made there was good for the region, but good for Pacifica. And that was something that just everybody from, when I think of you, I just think of sincerity. Just absolutely sincere in every moment, in every decision. And so much so that tonight we say goodbye to you in a way that a lot of people would say you're leaving early. but the sincerity and presence to know your heart and what's important to you and your family is something that really, again, is also very uncommon in council members. And when you look around, people who do this tend to overstay their welcome, and you're leaving early because you love people. Same reason you got in. It just speaks so much to who you are. And I'm not going to go over everything that everyone did that I already talked about. I'm just going to say, boy, we're going to miss you. We're just going to miss you so much at the county and regional levels and here in Pacifica. You are absolutely original in every way and incredibly special. And Sue, Sue, you are so, you're just so amazing. You're like such a, you go through and you look and your many years going all the way back to the school board, your work with the schools, and then you look and you emit this strength, right? Sue's strong, and then you get to know her and it's like, Sue's actually really soft. She's a big sweetheart. And we watched you through this year, and it's just unbelievable. The amount that you went through this year physically, and you just kept serving. You just kept pushing it forward. And tough work this year. A local coastal plan in the middle of everything else that you were doing. You went through all of that and led this city through a local coastal plan in a way that, honestly, I know those are tough. But from my perspective, it looked just like the community was coming together and talking all the way through. And people might not have agreed, but they respected each other as they went through it. And that says a lot about who you are and what you were going through in the way that you approached it, completely selfless. I remember talking to your colleagues about what was going on in terms of the count, and then they'd say, and you won't believe what's going on with Sue. Never a ripple. See, you just fought right through it all. I can't even believe, you are a power lifter, right? A world champion power lifter. But what you did this year puts all of that to shame. We love you, and we're going to miss you so much. To you both, thank you on behalf of the county. This is a very special council, and thank you, too, for what you did through COVID. I have these I'm going to leave with the clerk.
Thank you.
Through the mayor.
Yes. Sue.
Thank you. Supervisor Mueller, before you leave, because I had written something short inside of my comments, I'd like to take the opportunity before you leave, if that's all right with the mayor. The brotherhood I have felt with you has been one of the most unexpected elements of my journey as a council member. If you had told me 4 years ago that the gentleman who was perpetually annoying me when I had barely even sat down was going to become one of the human beings I feel closest to on this planet, I would have been highly skeptical, to say the least. So before you go, what I wanted to tell you is that my respect for the integrity, not that you bring with you, but that encompasses the entirety of your being, is a rare element. Not that we don't have many electeds that are true to themselves, but your particular sense of integrity is so extraordinary. It does not bend. It does not waver. And frankly, I think it is what enables you to be able to shoulder the burdens as you encounter whatever slings and arrows meet you along your path. So I want to just take a moment to thank you for...
And I will too. And I feel like I've known you forever. We could just call and talk on the phone like, this or that, talk about one little thing and that, and keep on talking. And I really appreciate everything you've done. I've always been in your corner too, because I appreciate what you've done. Thank you so much. Love you. Thank you. The gifts, we're supposed to be. We do, but, okay. Okay, we'll do, we'll continue with the dignitaries. We're a little bit out of order. But,
But you don't have the script, so you don't know that. Oh, so you don't know that.
can I have mine back, please? Can I have it back? Okay. Okay, next. Katrina, is Katrina here? No. Okay, Elise, do you want to go next, or Anthony?
Good evening, Council. I'm going to be presenting a resolution to Councilmember Tiger Jazz on behalf of Senator Josh Becker and Assemblymember Mark Berman today. It is a privilege to celebrate the remarkable contributions of a public servant, Tiger Jazz twirls big stick. Public office is not an easy job. It takes countless hours of work and planning behind the scenes that many people, the people you are serving, are often unaware of. Sometimes the work can be uplifting, other times it could be especially challenging as you try to find the best solutions to complex problems that face your community. A leader shows up for work on the fun days and the difficult days. Councilmember Big Stick, you have accomplished so much during your time on council, including completing the general plan update, the Sharp Park specific plan, creating a brand new and safe and welcoming civic center, as well as tackling the incredibly difficult, though important LCLUP. I'm happy to be here with Elise Lester from Assemblymember Berman's office to present you this resolution on behalf of the entire California State Legislature. I want to thank you for all you have done and best of luck on your future endeavors. And just in addition to my talking points here, I really want to thank you for creating such a welcoming council. It's everyone's, contributions, but I feel you've played an especially important part in making this such, there's lots of mentions of family, brotherhood, sisterhood that you don't see at other council meetings, supervisor meetings in the state legislature, so I appreciate that and your representation of Pacifica.
Thank you. We'll do it. Okay. Now we're going to present the gifts.
Oh, sure.
To Tiger.
I got it all. Okay, Elf. Okay, Elf.
Okay, Councilmember Big Stick, your co-council members have a few things to share with you, and you don't have to, open everything all at once, everything everywhere all at once. But I did want to start with this photo, which is Lindemar Beach, and it is from our local photographer, Danielle Durenzi.
What? No.
Go. Oh, okay. And we have from our favorite cotton crustaceans. There's some gifts for you there. I can't even say anything that's like suitable. Like,
Okay.
there's just so much we should be giving you.
That's true. There's so much we should be giving you. But we're going to give you what we can.
Yes. Sure. Yeah, pull it out. This is a cool bag. Ooh, crustaceans. If you don't know it, go there. But one thing that Tiger's really good at is going and having a drink with people. That's how he like does his little relationship building. You go have a drink with people. A drink. A drink.
Yes.
Yes. He's really good at that. And so they're giving him some drinks. And this is a picture of Tiger on top of Sweeney Ridge.
You know, I want to know who people actually are, and sometimes it's a matter of what is it going to take for us to figure each other out sooner than later.
Yeah.
It's not always the tact. Oh,
Yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's, some little beverage stuff down there.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Okay, now, we're going to do our outgoing speeches a little later in the program.
Very good.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
How do you want to do a public comment?
No.
Isn't it listed for everybody all at once?
Yes, it is.
Oh, that makes
It's
sense.
later.
I read it.
Okay.
I read the script.
Okay, next.
Okay. Next. Presentation to the outgoing mayor. And I will read a proclamation. Proclamation of the City of Pacifica in recognition of Sue Vaterlos. Whereas the tenure of the Honorable Sue Vaterlos with the City Council of the City of Pacifica is drawing to a close after 8 years of service in the role of council member, following 2 successful elections in 2016 and 2020, wherein she served as mayor in 2019 and 2024. And whereas Sue Vaterlos has dedicated her life to enhancing Pacifica in numerous capacities, serving on the Financing City Services Task Force, General Plan Steering Committee, the first one, City Library Foundation Liaison Committee, Economic Development Committee, and Planning Commission from 2008 to 2016. And whereas Sue Vaterlos has protected Pacifica's coast and community with her leadership on critical city projects such as the General Plan, Sharp Park Specific Plan, Housing Element, and through her service on the FogFest Organizing Group, Council of Cities, San Mateo County Emergency Services Council, and the City and County Association of Governments. And whereas Sue Vaterlos and her husband Brent moved to Pacifica in 1979 while raising 3 children, Sue served many years as a volunteer with the parent-teacher organizations at Valimar Elementary and Terra Nova High School, the Laguna Salada Bond Committee, and Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. And whereas Sue Vaterlos has championed youth civic engagement throughout her time as a student, successfully pushing for dress code reform in the El Cerrito School District to allow girls to wear pants to school. No lie.
In public
And
school.
for San Francisco State University to open the first co-ed dorms in the United States. And Sue continues to encourage future generations to make a difference in their communities. And whereas Sue Vaterlos has embodied unyielding strength, not only as a world champion weightlifter, for which she was inducted into the World Association of Benchers and Deadlifters Hall of Fame in 2017 and the Pacifica Sports Hall of Fame in 2022, but also as an advocate for breast cancer awareness and screening, and supporting the American Cancer Society Relay for Life. Now therefore I, Sue Beckmeyer, on behalf of the City Council of the City of Pacifica and all its citizens, do hereby honor and pay tribute to Sue Vaterlas and thank her for many decades of public service to our community and wish her happiness and success in her future endeavors, done this 9th day of December 2024.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
We'll go last.
I'll go first. Unless you want to, Sue Beckmeyer. You want to go first?
I could.
Okay, go.
I'm going to go first.
I can feel the vibe.
Sue. It's hard for me to spin backward in my mind when we first met and how I first got to know you, because it was so long ago. There have been so many reasons and whys and wherefores that we've crossed paths. I think it was work with the Library Foundation, really, and the precursor to it that brought us together, because there was the Pacifica Connected function that happened in terms of community outreach. And so in any case, that was like, I got involved in that in 2011. So it's, solid since then, for sure, if not beforehand. I certainly knew who you were. I mean, you sold the house next door to me, all of that. So what's been really special for me over the last, the whole time I've served on council, for sure, but for sure the last year or two, is this continuous growth in what I know about you, what I see you do, how you do it. People are not aware of, I think you're the strong silent type sometimes. People are not really aware, and you're getting all this stuff done. It's clearly innate. Who does what you did with your elementary school district, right? But think about how much that informed you and prepared you to just continue doing that. And so it doesn't surprise me that with that, accomplishment, with the girls can wear pants to a public school thing, why would you stop there when you get to college and you want to have co-ed dorms? Of course. This is how you do it. Let's just do it. Maybe you don't know how to do it, but you're going to do it. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is it's very inspiring to work with you. It's so fun to chat. You always say it, and many people say it, that you don't speak a lot. You have few words. But that is such a lie when when you're not, on the dais and doing work. It's when I go to call her, I go I'm going to make sure that I have time, because I know the conversation's going to go here and there and there and there, but it's great. It's all great. And so I'm going to miss serving with you. I've appreciated having this council, mayor pro tem relationship all year long, and you have absolutely inspired me and this whole community with what you've gone through and how you've done it with such grace throughout. You are really, if you can do it, anyone can do it. I know you say that, and you really are such an inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too.
So I only moved here in 2019. And it's been interesting learning about our community, which I did very quickly, realizing that, we're not so divided on the political spectrum. There's some Republicans and there's some Democrats, but those aren't really our big discussions around town. Our big discussions and some of the stronger disagreements are maybe around property rights and environmental issues. And where I got involved first were environmental issues. And so I got a whole history from a lot of people. and a lot of not so nice things that I heard, right? And so coming into this, I didn't really know what to expect, right? I'm coming with my voice. And you have been the biggest surprise to me on this council. And I want other people to hear this too, because I think some of things that are said are not true. Where Tiger and I had drinks, you and I rode back and forth together. And you're right, Sue Beckmeyer, you can't have a short conversation. So our meetings would go to 11:30. We'd sit in the driveway at least another hour after that. Mind you, we couldn't talk about Brown Act stuff and things we were going to vote on. I was very careful about that. But we really got to be friends in that time. And that is so important. Like I said to Tiger too, your relationship and ability to do the work needs to be based on an understanding and a respect for each other. And I really have that for you. And I'm amazed to hear all the things that you've done in your career. I'm also amazed at seeing you be mayor this year and, starting to think about what that might mean for me coming up later. It has been a hell of a year, not just you physically, but us and the work that we've done. It has taken a toll. And I've heard you say this has been your hardest year on council. And part of that is that so much of this hard work has been kicked down the road for so long. And, under your leadership, other council members, city staff, we've gotten some major things done that will really help position Pacifica in a better place in the future. We still have a lot of hard work to do. Mm-hmm. It's not going to stop. But I also appreciate kind of what Ray was saying, that you look hard, but you're soft on the inside. And I've heard you, you question yourself, oh, I said something stupid, or I shouldn't have said that, or, and we all do that. My first 2 council member meetings, I went home and cried. Honestly, because I should have said that, or whatever, and you can't do that. But I also see that we're looking out for each other. We forgot to take public comment. Well, we all know the rules, and we're all here to help each other, right? It's not all on anyone's shoulders. That's part of the teamwork and collaboration that we have here. I see you on the regional boards, and you're always the first one to speak up. Pacifica's been left out, especially transportation funding. Mm-hmm. And that's an important voice. I have one worry about you. I know you have the FOMO, the fear of missing out. And oh my gosh, you've been to so many meetings and on so many committees and serving our city in so many ways. And yes, sometimes the dinners are fun, but really in the end, it's a lot of damn meetings and a lot of driving and a lot of your personal time that you're giving up. And I know you're not going to stop being involved and stop caring about the city, because that's not who you are. But I do hope you can take some time for yourself and find some fun things to do. Invite us along, because now there's no more Brown Act rules. We can talk about anything.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was lovely, Christine. Thank you. Well, Sue, 20 years ago, almost 20 years ago, is when my nephew died in a car accident here in Pacifica, and I think I met you about 3 months after that, because you joined the Partnership for a Safe and Healthy Pacifica. And that's when I met you, and you're just always so much fun to have around. And even way back then, when I didn't really know you, you're just such a strong presence, right? And so thank you for participating in something that was so close to my heart. I was just trying to think of all the things over the years, and where there's some really important moments for you and I think one of those moments was during Measure C, where you and I had very, very different views on what could or could not work in our community. And I thought, I saw you one day, you were coming out here, it was after Planning Commission meeting, I was on my bike, and I just pulled up to you and I'm like, what have we done? Like, have we caused all this pain in our community? I was so upset because I just didn't understand, and you were so nice to me. And you just listened to me, and you just let me know that it didn't matter. Like, what we believe in is true to us, and that's enough. And that's what we're supposed to be doing in our community every day. And you continued to show me that. Remember one of my first council meetings, I'm like, oh, I can do that? And you do whatever you want. Just straight up, like, I know something silly, like take a break. I don't know what it was, but you're just so strong and so loving. And I think, especially in the past year, you and I have found out that we're kindred spirits. And in some of the ways, it's not the fun ways, right? Mm-hmm. But it's created a space for us to be safe with each other, to talk about things that aren't comfortable, and to ask for help, right? Oh, and I just love you so much, Sue. Like a lot. And I'm really going to miss sitting next to you, and it's been such an honor to serve with you and to watch you do your thing. And, Christine mentioned some things about, community feedback, and I have to bite my tongue when they're talking about you, but you don't. You let them know, and they don't get to know you like I get to know you. So, I'm lucky. We're all lucky because we get to know you. And this past year, I don't know how you've done what you've done, and I know people have said it over and over again, but I would have been home in bed, and you were on Zoom, attending our meetings, running, coming back, running our meetings. You did not miss a beat. And we were at Winters one day, not drinking. We're just at Winters.
We were not drinking. It was a
fundraiser, whatever. And Cyndi Lauper came on, and it was one of the most beautiful moments I have ever had with a human being in my life, because we stood there and we held hands and we sang that song. And I probably shouldn't sing it now, but it's like, I see your true colors. And that's why I love you. So don't be afraid, right, to let them show, because your true colors are so beautiful, Sue. And we just held hands, and it was awesome. And I'll never forget it. And Robbie has a tiny little video of it, where it shows us holding hands and singing to each other. Come on.
It was great.
That's the best thing ever.
Whenever I hear that song, it's Mary. All the way, Mary.
But that's you, because your true colors really are so beautiful, and your heart is so beautiful, and you love your kids so much. I love it when you talk about your granddaughter and just how proud you are of your children. And I'm going to miss serving with you. Thank you for teaching me so much, for teaching me that it's okay to bring what I have to the table, that what I have is enough. And you have shown me that over and over again. When I have doubted myself, you picked me up, and gosh, I love you. And it makes me so happy to love you. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God. This is hard. So, okay.
Now that I'm out of the hot seat. Mary had said, and I think she repeated it, that she was glad that I get to go and reconnect with myself a little bit and start attuning myself within to where I am. And it occurs to me I mean, first of all, your service has been spectacular. And whether or not people know it or not, or like you or not, or whatever their opinions might happen to be, anybody who hasn't been paying attention would miss the ridiculous amount of work that you've done for everybody for a very long time now. I think that if you could inhibit yourself from sleeping so that you could attend every form of meeting, every event, so that you could, be present and representing our community, you would do so. And so I'm happy that you will be given an opportunity now to reconnect with yourself. As I've watched your physical state of existence over this last year, and yet you show up and you do the job and you keep an ordered counsel, regardless of whether or not your own opinion shifts over the course of a meeting, you do. I am so grateful that you get time to heal and perhaps even discover parts of yourself of which you have been, after a lifetime, unaware. That sounded like a start, but where I want to start is by saying, first of all, I don't think anybody realizes how loved you are county-wide. We get together as electeds all over the county, and we serve as boards all over the county, and your nature being one in which you would wish to serve on every board if you could. You have largely served with the vast majority of the electeds in this county, and you are deeply loved regionally, which of course has only ever